The Sunday Independent is an Irish populist Sunday newspaper broadsheet published by Independent News and Media plc, a subsidiary of Media Hiss. It is the Sunday edition of the Irish Independent, and maintains an editorial position midway between magazine and tabloid. The Sunday Independent was first published in 1905 as the Sunday edition of the Irish Independent. Following the creation of the Irish Free State, the Sunday Independent followed its daily counterpart's political line by supporting Cumann na N. Gedhal and its successor Fine Gael. From the 1940s until 1970, the paper was run by Hector Legge. Legge's time at the paper was notable for the Sunday Independent in 1948 leaking the news that the Irish government were going to leave the British Commonwealth by repealing the External Relations Act. Legge also published a series of articles by the writer Frank O'Connor in the paper. In the 1970s, under the editorship of Conor O'Brien, the Sunday Independent became known for a series of investigations by journalist Joe McAnthony into the activities of the Irish sweepstakes. O'Brien was succeeded as editor in 1976 by Michael Hand. Angus Fanning became editor following Hand's departure in 1984. In 1984, the Sunday Independent logo changed from black to purple in color. Annie Harris succeeded her husband Angus Fanning after his death in January 2012. On the 20th of December 2014, Harris ended her tenure as the Sunday Independent's editor. At her going-away party, the marketing department of Independent News and Media gave her a painting of the number 30% to commemorate the fact Harris had raised the newspaper's circulation to 30% of the Irish market. Cormac Burke, the former executive editor of the Irish Independent, became the new editor of the Sunday Independent in January 2015. The Sunday Independent is available on the Irish Newspaper Archives website up to 2004. You will only find black and white microfilm pages, but since 2005 the pages of the Sunday Independent online in color. The newspaper is available at independent.ie. Online at British Newspaper Archive. The newspaper is a general Sunday newspaper, covering news and politics. It is published in 5 sections: news, sport, business, property, and living, as well as a magazine section. In terms of news, while the newspaper maintains a broadsheet outlook, it has come in for much criticism lately due to its increasing emphasis on lifestyle features in the main section. It has also been criticized for regularly tending towards sensationalism, and for the often opinion-focused, rather than news-focused nature of its articles. It is probably better described as a middle-of-the-road newspaper, rather than a newspaper of record. In the 1980s and 1990s, the deputy editor was Annie Harris. The Sunday Independent has become one of the most controversial publications in Ireland. An article in McGill magazine about the newspaper stated, its critics have characterized it as nasty and narcissistic, its supporters as lively and libidinous, a tornado of fresh air in a stale and shrinking industry. Noted for its trenchant support for Fianna Fáil, and particularly Bertie Ahern and latterly Brian Lenihan, it usually contains articles focused that party and its policies, often at the expense of other political groups in the state. The government's former Minister for Defence, Willie O'Dea, writes a weekly column for the newspaper. The former partner of Bertie Ahern, Celia Larkin, has also started writing as a columnist for the newspaper following the closure of her beauty salon business, popularly nicknamed the Sindo. The paper has been a zealous critic of the Provisional IRA and Sinn Féin for many years. In the late 1980s and early 1990s, the Sunday Independent was reproachful toward SDLP politician John Hummey, whom the newspaper accused of being insufficiently attentive to the needs of the Ulster Unionists. Many of the Sunday Independent's columnists also criticized Hummey for negotiating with Sinn Féin leader Gerry Adams, accusing Hummey of being naive about Adams. On the 21st of March 2021. The sports section changed from broadsheet to a tabloid, but the main paper, business, property and motors sections remain broadsheet, all redesigned 1 week later following the reduced size. Life magazine on the 4th of October 2020 and Living rebranded as People and Culture on the 29th of November 2020. 1. 2. 3. All uppercase letters until 1975. 4. Italics. 5. First purple. 6. 7. The editorial policy of the Sunday Independent can be described as support for laissez-faire policies in economics and strong opposition to armed republicanism. Some have described the newspaper's policies as those of the New Right. It was strongly supportive of the progressive Democrats and in favor of income tax reduction and the rolling back of the state. Major issues often include big government, the size of the public sector, terrorism, and more recently, the Republic's regime of stamp duty on newly acquired property. It usually